So when it comes to these meats that we're starting with, the fats we're adding to them, obviously everybody, as you just touched on, has different access to different things. People have different budgets.
Yeah.
But how do you look at that from a nutrient standpoint? So having something that is grass-fed, grass-finished, having, chicken or pork that's been pasture raised, if people have access and the means, how big of a difference does that make in the nutrition they're getting?
10%. I don't think it makes a huge difference. I think that definitely if you've got your own chickens in your yard and you're not giving them grain and they're eating bugs, you're less likely to react to the omega-6 if you're inflamed in that egg white. People often react to egg white. My son went carnivore. He's a teacher in Athens. He can't get the cuts of meat that I can afford. So he's never going to get grass fed. I mean, I don't even know where he would get it in Athens. So you have to. I don't think that he's compromising his health by not. And I don't get grass fed. We used to get Scottish and Irish until Brexit, and it's ridiculously expensive right now. So instead of paying, gold for my steak, I'm getting it from Piedmont now. So, you have to do, I don't think that, I think that in a perfect world, everybody could eat grass fed, not just because they're eating more nutritious, slightly more nutritious, slightly uh, less amount of omega-6 in the ruminant meat, right? But it's also better for the environment. We know that, pastured animals are just better. The whole process, regenerative agriculture, is better for the environment. In the UK, by law, in Scotland and Ireland, it's not the UK, but it's still they have the same laws. They're all like Australian. They're all outside all the time. So in Italy, you have part outside, part inside. In the States, you have different kinds of. But I don't think that's something that somebody has to really worry about tremendously.
While we're on this topic of budget and quality, how do you think about some of the processed meats, things like hot dogs, bacon? How do they fit on this continuum for people if they're trying to heal and then in more maintenance mode?
I would say you can get great hot dogs in the US. I can't get them. And I don't know, but unfortunately the great hot dogs probably cost more than the cheaper hot dogs. But I think that if you want to go on a carnivore diet, I think that if just by removing carbohydrates, you're doing 75% of it. I don't think you need to be so concerned about. I mean, I don't. My husband eats some pork. We can't get bacon. It's only pancetta here, and it's not the same. He eats chicken maybe once a week. I don't. It doesn't turn me on. So I'm not worried about him eating chicken or pork or it's just that he happens to like it. I have actually heard women feeling more satiated with ruminant than chicken and pork. So maybe it's the iron content. Italians eat a lot of veal. They don't even like red meat. They like veal. They like no blood. And veal has no iron. So 100 grams of beef, red meat has 2.6, 2.7 grams of iron per 100 grams. Veal has one.
For somebody coming to this conversation, and money is a real issue, and at this point, maybe they can only afford, say, like traditional hot dogs, lunch meat, some of the really low quality meats, Spam, things that are in cans.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still feel like they can improve their health eating these really low quality meats?
I think they can. I mean, this is in the 70s. My dad would take us camping in Europe because my parents were divorced, and all we had was Spam for a month. Probably the Spam of today. I mean, you have to check the ingredients. I'm sure they didn't even check the ingredients in the 70s when my father was getting it. But I think that you can definitely improve your health by removing carbohydrates.
If you enjoyed that clip, you're going to want to head over here and catch a full episode. I'll see you over there.
Every single cell in the body needs iodine. Every tissue needs iodine. Iodine is an antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. It's a heavy metal chelator. That's my shield. We use more nutrients when we're in a state of stress. If your body's fighting an infection.